cold out here.
Yeah, it is. It's like the South Pole.
It's like the deep South Pole, if there was one. There isn't, though.
I must say that Admiral Byrd, our guest tonight, is not only our greatest living explorer, but he's been an inspiration to countless Americans. Admiral Byrd, you've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole. Is there any unexplored land left on this Earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans?
Yes, there is. And not up around the North Pole, because it's getting crowded up there now, because they find out it's really usable, not only to live in, but militarily. But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole, on the other side of the South Pole, from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored. So I'm willing to say to you that there will be a number of expeditions that will follow, I think, year after year.
But why this interest in the bottom of the world? Nobody living down there, is there?
No, it's pretty cold. There's only one permanent resident, that's the emperor penguin. The little ones live further north. I tell you one reason they're interested. It's by far the most valuable, important place left in the world. It happens to be an untouched reservoir of natural resources. The bottom of the world will be important, not only to us but to our allies. We've found enough of coal within 180 miles of the South Pole in a great ridge of mountains. It's not covered with snow, enough to supply the whole world for quite a while. That's the coal. Now there's evidence of many other minerals. We are pretty sure there's oil. It was once tropical, so we think there's oil there, and there's evidence, probably uranium there. As I said, it's the most peaceful place in the world, but I don't think it will be for long.
However, may I ask you, is there a great difference between the top of the world and the bottom of the world?
There is. Now, the North Pole is the center of an ocean 10,000 feet deep. The South Pole, the center of a plateau 10,000 feet high. The North Polar Sea is surrounded by continents slightly frozen. The Antarctic continent is surrounded by a belt of ice, frozen seas of at least 1,200 miles thick. Now, the South is a plateau. It gets, in some places, 14,000 feet up. I've been over areas about 13,000, and it's a little bit chilly up there. So there's that big difference between the top and bottom of the world.
Personally, I think the unconquered south face is the only one worth scaling. It's a 20,000-foot sheer wall of ice, but that's never stopped me before.
In the flat Earth model of the cosmos, the North Pole is the immovable centre of the world and the entire universe. Polaris, the North Star, sits straight over the North Pole at the highest point in the heavens, and like a slowly rotating planetarium dome, all the celestial bodies revolve around Polaris and over the Earth once per day. The Sun circles over and around the circumference of Earth every 24 hours, steadily travelling each day from the equator during the March vernal equinox up to the Tropic of Cancer at the June summer solstice, back down to the equator for the September autumnal equinox, and all the way down to the Tropic of Capricorn on the December winter solstice. In the flat Earth model, the South Pole does not exist at all, and Antarctica is instead a giant ice wall extending the circumference of Earth, holding in the oceans like a giant bowl, or a World Cup. As strange as this concept may sound at first, it is a fact that if you set a bearing due south from anywhere on Earth, inevitably at or before 78 degrees southern latitude, you will find yourself face to face with an enormous ice wall towering 100 to 200 feet in the air, extending to the east and west the entire circumference of the world. How far the ice extends, how it terminates, and what exists beyond it are questions to which no present human experience can reply. All we at present know is that snow and hail, howling winds, and indescribable storms and hurricanes prevail, and that in every direction human ingress is barred by unsealed escarpments of perpetual ice, extending farther than eye or telescope can penetrate, and becoming lost in gloom and darkness. By Samuel Rowbotham, zeTETic Astronomy, Earth Not a Globe. Antarctica is not the tiny ice continent found confined to the underside antipode of astronomers' globes. Quite the contrary. Antarctica literally surrounds us 360 degrees, encircles every continent, and acts as a barrier holding in the oceans. The most commonly asked questions, and the greatest mysteries yet to be solved are: how far does the Antarctic ice extend outwards? Is there a limit? What lies beyond, or is it just snow and ice forever? Thanks to UN treaties and constant military surveillance, the North Pole and Antarctica remain cloaked in government secrecy, both purported no-fly, no-sail zones, with several reports of civilian pilots and captains being shooed away and escorted back under threat of violence.
Hey, just a Navy destroyer. He will yield. He'd be thinking, that cheeky better not cross my bow. Stop, Josh. They take it seriously.
What did they say?
You got to yield. You can't just fucking. They think you're going to charge them.
We don't know for sure, but they did say something to us.
No, they did.
They
I thought I heard.
they come back last call. Yeah, fucking talk to them.
Actually going around. He's turning. Stop. He's turning. He is actually turning.
He said about the ship yesterday.
No, he is turning. Fucking hell, what have we done now? It's turning, Josh. Just sit still.
He's slowed down, has he?
Yeah, he's really slowed down. No time we were in trouble.
What for?
It's coming to us.
He's coming to us.
He's got the shits because...
By port bow. This is Warship Hobart, channel 16, over.
1-6.
Yeah, we got you, mate. Just bad boys. Did he come back? Gonna go channel 16. No.
Hobart, you are in a maritime exclusion area. Please report your intention.
Oh, who the fuck's that?
We're heading to the shelf to go.
Just say we're out fishing, heading out fishing. No, we're just heading out fishing.
Get the dinghies out, boys. They get quiet the water.
This is Warship Hobart. You are operating recommend that you exit the area immediately.
We're going that way.
We're just traversing. Can he not kill you? Is there a helicopter coming at us now?
Are we allowed? I don't know. What
Just travel, just go.
Just go.
He sent out the chopper.
That's a drone. Is it?
That's unreal.
Before reaching the Antarctic ice wall, navigating the increasingly tumultuous southern oceans, explorers encounter the longest, darkest, coldest nights and the most dangerous seas and storms anywhere on Earth. Vasco da Gama, an early 16th century Portuguese explorer of the South Seas, wrote how the waves rise like mountains in height. Ships are heaved up to the clouds and apparently precipitated by circling whirlpools to the bed of the ocean. The winds are piercing cold and so boisterous that the pilot's voice can seldom be heard, whilst the dismal and almost continual darkness adds greatly to the danger. Yes, but we can circumnavigate the south easily enough, is often said by those who don't know. The British ship Challenger recently completed the circuit of the southern region, indirectly to be sure, but she was 3 years about it and traversed nearly 69,000 miles, a stretch long enough to have taken her 6 times round on the globular hypothesis. By William Carpenter, 100 Proofs the Earth is not a globe. If we now consider the fact that when we travel by land or sea, and from any part of the known world, in a direction towards the North Polar Star, we shall arrive at one and the same point, we are forced to the conclusion that what has hitherto been called the North Polar region is really the centre of the Earth. That is, from this northern centre, the land diverges and stretches out, of necessity, towards a circumference, which must now be called the southern region, which is a vast circle and not a pole or centre. In this and other ways, all the great navigators have been frustrated in their efforts and have been more or less confounded in their attempts to sail around the Earth upon or beyond the Antarctic Circle. But if the southern region is a pole or centre, like the north, there would be little difficulty in circumnavigating it, for the distance round would be comparatively small. When it is seen that the Earth is not a sphere, but a plane, having only one centre, the north, and that the south is the vast icy boundary of the world, the difficulties experienced by circumnavigators can be easily understood. By Samuel Rowbotham, Earth Not a Globe, 2nd edition. The conclusion is one of necessity, forced upon us by the sum of the evidence collected that the degrees of longitude in any given southern latitude are larger than the degrees in any latitude nearer to the northern centre, thus proving the already more than sufficiently demonstrated fact that the Earth is a plane, having a northern centre, in relation to which degrees of latitude are concentric, and from which degrees of longitude are diverging lines, continually increasing in their distance from each other as they are prolonged towards the great glacial southern circumference. By Samuel Rowbotham, zeTETic Astronomy, Earth Not a Globe.
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that.
Now the south is a plateau. It gets in some places 14,000 feet up. I've been over areas about 14,000.
hoist the sail, and we'll be gone by morning. This will all seem like a dream. And if I don't return to sing the song, maybe just as well I've seen the news, and there's not much I can do.
Strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by human beings. And that's beyond the pole, on the other side of the South Pole, from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
Well, I wanted to address the flat earthers harping on and on about no time-lapse footage of the 24-hour Antarctic midnight sun. Well, I can assure you, as a southern hemisphere scientist, a very seasoned one, the midnight sun does occur. I've seen it with my own eyes. And yes, there should be hundreds of these videos out there, but keep in mind, we are very busy down here doing science. So I will humor you. I brought a team down, courtesy of NASA, and they brought a high-tech panoramic 360 time-lapse camera, whole rig, very nice system. And they were able to capture the midnight sun. Here it is. As you can see, Jaron, we really do have a 24-hour midnight sun down here in the southern hemisphere. Keep in mind that humble pie is best served with a warm cup of hot chocolate. I do expect a full apology. Shit! Son of a bitch. Damn it, Brian.